Welcome. We have almost a representative from every part of the world here today, so I love this. Okay, so let's get started, everyone. I'd like to keep it to about an hour, no more. It's a lot of information, but I'm just going to touch a little bit on a little bit of everything. And I also put my email in there, so you can always say, Leona, I just need a little clarity call with you. Perhaps we could have a quick 15-minute chat if you have any questions, but we'll run through this information together. And we have these webinars all the time, so you're welcome to join other ones at any time. You just go to the flowcode.com and join the free webinars. So what is the date today? October 23rd already. Oh, can you believe it? How fast time is flying? I'm going to share a little bit about myself. You all know that my name is Leona. I'm a mentor and ambassador for FlowCode, and I've been doing this kind of work. Can you still hear me? Okay, good. I've been doing this kind of work with Nirvana and FlowCode for the last couple of years. I've been a certified life coach for 11 years, so I have my own business besides this. And when I was introduced to the FlowCode work, I loved it. I was so passionate about it. I thought this is perfect to add another element to my work because I was already teaching pieces of it within my own work. And so what I loved about the whole FlowCode hub is it brought everything together. And I'm like, wow, this is easy. Now I have some extra tools to assist with people to be triggering the flow state, to get more into the flow state, practices that they could use, and meditations. And there's so much you can get into. And like I said, we're just going to touch on those topics today. We're actually going to go through a slideshow. How do you like that? There we are. Fearless playfulness. Who doesn't like a little bit of that in their life? This is pretty much how I lead my life, is through play. I believe it's a big piece of keeping in the state of flow. I'm going to share a couple of videos through this presentation. Basically, this is an overview of how it's going to be. I'm going to introduce you to the flow state. Most of you are already aware of this, but it's always a good reminder. It's just a short little video. We're going to talk about how we're going to reprogram our state of being, and a lot of you are already aware of that as well. So I'll be mindful. I like to know who the crowd is here today, so I know where to spend a little bit more time and maybe where not to. We're going to talk about how we achieve that optimal perception, that perception of joy and play and just being in that best state of being that we can be, being out of the state of fear. We're going to do a little bit of practical part and practice some flow triggers together, and just touch the other ones so you can kind of see the back end of the FlowCode. I'm also going to talk briefly about the FlowHub app. It's not really like an application so far, or I can't even speak English at this moment, my apologies. But it's actually, you could put a shortcut on your phone and you could go through the triggers. You could have your clients use the triggers to support them in your work that you're doing with them. There's an infinite amount of possibilities that we can use with this. And then if you're interested at the end, and I'll give you an opportunity if you don't want to stay to, depart. We're going to just share a little bit how to become a flow coach. And it takes about 5 minutes, that overview. And then any questions at any time, you just let me know. Just kind of signal me, and we'll do this together. So we talk about what is the flow state. The state of flow, or being in the zone, is that state of peak performance. Xander, you were mentioning a bit about it, wrote a book about it. I'd love to see that book, actually. You'll have to send me an email to share more information with me. I'd love to learn more. This is the most desirable state that we really want to be in. And through FlowCode, the more we practice this whole getting into the flow state, more often we do this, the longer we can sustain this. I mean, it's not sustainable for like huge amounts of time, yet we can have also like this afterglow of flow. Things start shifting in our life. Our well-being can shift, our physical, our mental, and our spiritual well-being can all shift. And I talk about that a lot within my own work. It's all about body, mind, and spirit. So this supports me in my work. Let's go through this together. We can talk about, within the FlowCode, what it is. It's a whole system that maps out how we can attain the state of flow. Now, you can't see this big map. I'm not going to share this one right now because it really is in depth, but it's just really a map, lays it out for you. How do I obtain the state of flow? Where does it start? How do I create a flow personality? So by practicing going into the state of flow all the time, and it becomes part of our daily routine and a ritual, we create this flow personality. And this is what we want. We want to be in the state more often because, like I said before, it creates a more of a mental well-being, physical well-being. You can become more productive, more creative, more an optimal athlete, helps with being an author, helps with like all the creative outlets. I'm sure all of you know because we all have a little bit in this field already with what we're sharing with the world. I want to share with you a video. I have lots of slides here and I don't want to go through each one. I do first want to talk about how the whole fear personality, I mean, a lot of us can relate to this now. It's going on in the world, especially where people are in this state of fear, and what you focus on expands. And if people are in this state, it's just culminating and creating more fear, and they're attracting more of those experiences around us. So if we can move out of this fear state into a flow state, it's going to shift us. And if you look at the screen, you can see some of the personality traits of a fear personality, where you feel separated, where this inner critic is constantly, this little voice is constantly in the back of your head. You're really in that state of doubt and worry. You can even be bored and you have no intention. You're not intentionally creating what's going on around you. You're letting more of your subconscious create for you. And if there's that programming of fear there that's so deep, you're going to continuously create these experiences, this reality of fearful things going on around us. And people, if you can understand that you have the power to shift that into this flow state where we experience that being at one. We experience that being calm. There's no fear in this state, right? That inner critic is more contained. They don't have a loud voice. The time just kind of floats away and you are in the zone. That's what flow really is. It's just being in the zone where most of everything else around you can disappear. So this is the flow personality. I want to share a video with you. I'm going to stop sharing this for a moment. Is everyone still with me? Everyone's still good? I can't see you when I have my shared screen on. So as long as everyone's still good, we're breathing. I'm going to share a video with you. Let's see, does it want to come up? No, I'm going to stop that for a minute. Sometimes a Zoom, or maybe it's the user. Sometimes the user. Getting there. I see you laughing, Gina. I see you laughing. I want to share this one video with you. Okay, this is a great video.
Hey there, this is Max Flow. In the following lesson, we will learn how flow state becomes a personality trait, how it feels to perceive the world through the lens of a flow personality, and the clear and straightforward advantages it brings. How does it feel to be a flow personality? Building up a flow personality is based on the progressive development of flow experience, establishing an internal machinery of fulfillment and joy, an experience of perception that is empowering, meaningful, and worthy. State of flow breaks bonds of delusional perception of self being separated, extending one's perception beyond boundaries of the body and acknowledging one as an inherent part of the whole. It brings awareness of interaction and empowerment based upon the ability to be in command of your perception. It brings meaning, as the alignment with flow creates a feeling of being part of something larger than the separated self. Alignment with flow brings awareness that we don't control, but ride the flow. And the flow is inevitably leading us to an optimal and joyful experience. We get ourselves tuned up with the frequency of the environment while building an important anchored feeling of the flow that is a useful tool to boost up and achieve ever deeper intensity of flow experience more frequently. being at one. We merge with what we are doing, which gives us the overwhelming feeling of being at one with the task at hand, one with our actions and emotions, one with everything. Everything feels connected. In flow, or deep focused attention, this portion of the brain is less active, so we can no longer separate self from others. Being one with the waves, being one with the mountain, being one with the surroundings, being one with the universe, as if there is no separation. Time distortion. In flow, we get an altered perception of time. Time can either feel condensed, 2 hours feel like 10 minutes, or expanded, seconds feel like minutes. Researchers have found that time is calculated throughout the brain, especially in the prefrontal cortex part of the brain. That is why being in flow feels timeless. We lose track of time. So as we perform in flow, we become more subconscious in our actions. We blur out our perception of the past and future, and in doing so, we are pulled deeper into what researchers are calling the deep now, deep immersion. We are completely involved in what we are doing. We do not feel separated from our actions. We are one with our performance. Our attention is focused. Part of the ability to immerse oneself in a subject is a matter of concentration, which is not easy to do in today's world, where so many things constantly stimulate us. We are focusing on the task at hand. Multitasking is out. Active flow control. The more flow is practiced, the deeper and more profound the feeling of it becomes. It gives us an overwhelming sense of intentional management over the situation. It supports motivation, and whatever produces flow becomes its own reward. It means we gain an active control of the flow. That gives us a powerful sense of being able to manage our experiences and their interpretations, manage our perception in general. By having exact step-by-step tools at our disposal in the form of flow trigger practices and easily applicable rules for external flow requirements, we can control, amplify, and maintain the flow wave. Playfulness. Have you ever experienced that in a playful, emotionally safe setting? You seem to easily manage tasks, whilst when being observed by an authority or when in competition, you fail to perform at the same level. Well, that is the negative consequence and a limitation of competitive mindset and over-engaged prefrontal cortex. Neuroscience has proven time and again that the best learning environment is an emotionally safe one. Emerging into any task with playful approach creates a feeling of trust and creativity. Our brain is willing to open synapses and to explore the best options, to learn and then make the memory imprint. Such a mental approach, the stay and play mode of being, produces a positive hormonal response, which you're likely to seek more often. Contained inner critic. Mind that is overburdened with uncontrolled daydreaming cannot help but develop anxieties and fears based on playing out scenarios of the future or ponder on past experiences. It is a useful skill to a certain degree, since the brain has inherent functions of keeping us alive and seek, recognize, and avoid dangers. But there is a point when we start to experience negative consequences of this gift. With modern information overload, we are spending more time in the state where cognitive dissonances based on fear are resulting in negative and pathological combinations without an end, creating an ever-looping stream of irrelevant mental clutter. In flow, our self-monitoring zone is less active. We are not burdened by it, and it doesn't take up mental bandwidth. We are less critical and more positive. In flow, we limit our sense of self, and all of the worries and concerns drift away. Absent of contained fear. Fear is our oldest emotion. It comes from our evolution. It's based on survival needs. It's a fight or flight response. Nowadays, it's more fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of losing something, fear of being judged, and so on. Fear only exists in the past and in the future. We all live with the anticipation of fear and anxieties, but fear doesn't exist in the present moment, in the deep now. Fear is absent or contained. We are too involved to be concerned about failing. We act spontaneously without any fear. Everything seems to be going our way. We just know what has to be done and just do it. Manifested characteristics of a person with flow personality. A person with flow personality will experience more flow than other type of personalities. They are more likely to show higher self-esteem and lower anxiety. They are more likely to report active commitments to their lives and enjoy everyday general activities. Flow personality individuals also report a greater sense of fulfillment and a greater sense of satisfaction in their lives and lead a fulfilling life, despite low social status or financial rewards. They apply self-actualization, meaning they have a clear advantage in realizing the development of their talents to the fullest extent. They have a positive view of their lives and lead harmonious lives, while they need less material possessions, luxury, and power of fame, because so much of what they do is already rewarding. Individuals with the flow personality also have the ability to detect and utilize a challenge skill balance, including a greater ability to manage the complex balance between the play of finding the challenge and the work of building the skill. They most likely outperform non-flow prone people in any situation. They have better interpersonal relationships and greater general well-being than extrinsically motivated people. They are able to enter the flow state even while doing things that many people consider boring. The flow personality lives a fully immersed life, experiencing a deep sense of purpose. The flow personality can also be described as having the following manifested traits. Persistent. A person with flow personality remains on course in spite of difficulty or conflict. Curious. A person with flow personality has a limitless desire to learn and discover. Low self-centered. When being in the flow state, the sense of self is being lost. Open to experience and challenges. Individuals with the flow personality expand their possibilities, learn from others, adapt to new situations, and adopt new ideas. So they have a higher likelihood of taking on challenges while playing on the edge of abilities. Positive. People with the flow personality have low fear of failure. Playful approach keeps them in a positive, fearless state. Internally driven. People with the flow personality have a high rate of performing acts of selfless reasons. They are less influenced by money, prestige, or other extrinsic factors.
Everyone's still here. Hello. What a great video, right? I mean, we all see the benefits of being in the flow state and creating a flow personality. Look who we have here right now. Gina, she's already a certified FlowCode coach. We have Nanette, who just did her exam and just about to be certified. We have, right? Xander, you've written a book about it. Andrew, you're in the well-being industry. And then Akila, you're already a Nirvana coach, yes? No, sorry, you're muted. Nirvana. Okay, so Nirvana, if nobody knows this, Nirvana was how all of this began. So it began with a whole movement modality with breath work, kind of like a high vibrational atmosphere where it's that coming together and everyone being in that place of oneness. Correct? Right? Okay. And so we all see the benefits of this. So now what is FlowCode? FlowCode is like a system where everything's been put together so we can map out how to get into the state of flow, sustain the state of flow, and have different ways of triggering that flow state. And that's what you were interested about before, Xander, you mentioned before we started recording the call, yes? Like, okay. So let me explain some of these, because I'm going to go just a little bit outside the webinar for a bit, because I've been doing this for a while. So I have that liberty, that freedom, that I don't have to be so like guided by each slide. Well, I'll give you an example. So when I'm doing flow sessions with people, this is how I've implemented into my work. I do it within group sessions, one-on-one sessions. I do it with corporate individuals. I've done it with schools. I've done it within my retreats. I've hosted 27 retreats around the world. And what I've done is I've kind of laid it out like this, because within FlowCode, we talk about 7 different mindsets, and each mindset has different triggers that we can use. And those are all accompanied with breath work, with music, with visuals, and with anchoring techniques like this one. So if I want to talk about being in the state of flow, there's this movement that will go like this. If you see me on the screen, everyone can see me, and I'm breathing and I'm listening to music that's shared with the visual. So FlowCode has put everything together. All I have to do is share the screen. Like, it's already done. I don't have to do anything. Like, I could start this, I could get certified and get my exam and get certified in less than a month. And I could start with just sharing the screens. Everything's already mapped out for me. So I'm sharing these movements, and what's happening, there's intentions that are written on the screen. There's a beautiful visual going on. There's music. So all these things that assist with the state of flow, attaining the state of flow, are already packaged into one little component. So as a coach, I can take, depending on who my client is, who my audience is, I can take all of those components and put together a unique program for them, depending on what they're working with, where they're at. Maybe they just need a 5-minute flow break, and it's about breath work. So I teach them about the pursed lip breathing technique. We're going to take a breath movement. We're going to listen to high vibrational music. And then maybe my client, I may give them access to the app that I'm going to share with you momentarily, where they can be assisted in between sessions with me, right? So they can continuously do it and make it part of their daily routine. Because one thing with obtaining the flow state's one thing, but continuously doing it so we can create a flow personality. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? So FlowCode has put together already all the triggers and all the visuals. And they've even mapped out like programs. So even if I had no idea how to do this at the beginning, FlowCode has it ready for me to go, and I could start there. So that's what I did, yet I already had my existing business. So I've integrated the two of them to give even more value to my clients. Now, coming from a user point of view, what if I'm a user and I just want to use this program? I could just get like the FlowHub 7. I could just get the programs and have the triggers, have them on my phone, have them on my computer, and I could do that practice. But the thing is with that, what I'm finding within FlowCode is they still need the support of someone like, say, one of us in this room, because we're all that same mindset. We're all here to lead and assist people in their well-being. Is that safe to assume? Yep. So I kind of like to know who my audience is before I get going. And so I'm like, wow, how can I assist my client to have the best experience and to really get this? Because once they're getting into that flow state and doing it on a consistent level, things are really going to shift for them. They're going to have more value out of my program with them, right? Whether I'm working with a corporate client, a classroom, a one-on-one, whether I'm having a fitness class and I want to add on some of these other triggers, even the meditations, there's the sleep meditations, there's triggers for just like taking you. Now when I listen to it, instantly I shift, because I've been doing it for a while. Instantly it's right there. I start to hear that music and I'm like, I can take myself right out of there, have a break in the midst of the chaos. I'm like, oh, I'm right there again. Because it's taken time to create that flow personality. What I love though also is with my clients, it's like, oh, you know what, Leona, maybe I'll just go get them the application, I'll do it. But then they need some direction, they need some accountability, they need some like, let's do some tracking together about this. Let's measure this together, because I always share with that outside perspective, you're going to have more value because you can't always see what you're in, That's where the value of the mentors and the coaches come in. Whether you're doing the body, mind, or spirit, for me, I use all of this. I didn't have to be a fitness instructor to use this. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can't learn all this fitness component, yet I can share the videos through the FlowHub with them. So I'm already into the spiritual, energetic side of things. I'm already into the mind because I've been a coach for 10 years, but I wanted to add that body component because that's just as important. So I saw where my gifts were and where I needed assistance. That's another reason why I left the FlowCode. Does anyone have any questions at this point or want to interact? You can unmute yourself, and because everyone's muted, but if anyone wants to share. Everyone's good? Okay. I just want to make sure you're getting the most out of this session together. And also, I invite you again, if you want something very specific after this presentation, you have my email and we can like set up a quick 15-minute call, okay? Because this really is about sharing. FlowCode is about, it's another modality that's brought everything together that can assist you wherever you're at. That's it. You know, and then people get to choose, oh, maybe I want that part of my life. Maybe that's just going to assist me with what I'm doing in my current business. And this was great to open my awareness to something else that's going on out there. I think we're all in the same wavelength anyways. I could feel that from this group. It's nicer sometimes when you have a smaller group so you can feel that. As a FlowCode coach, as a coach anyways, I implement this into my daily routine first before I can teach it to others. You know, I really say that to the people that I'm assisting with and mentoring. Ensure that it's part of your daily routine first, because that's only how you can truly share with others your experience. Because I can share every slideshow with you that I have. I have about 20. And yet, if I've never experienced it, how can I really truly share the essence of this? Did you have a question, Nanette?
Yes, I just want to ask you, interesting, what is your daily routine with the flow? How do you
What's
maneuver?
my daily
Yeah,
routine?
yeah.
Thank you for asking. So I have when I get up in the morning, I really want to get connected with my body first. So I had my own kind of routine that I did before FlowCode, but now they have everything. I use the stretch and the balance modules, the triggers that they have. So I connect with my body. I'm also then, after I get connected with my body, and while I'm doing that, there's breath work that's incorporated. I do my journaling because then I've woken up my body. And then there's a meditation that I'll do afterwards. And so I do a short, it's like 15 minutes. That's how I start my day. And then I'll do the same kind of routine when I end my day. But right now I'm teaching 5 sessions a week to people, to groups. And we're doing just a group session. I know Gina's been to a couple of them. And we'll focus 1 month on core, your core strength. Right now, for me, I'm thinking core is really important. So what are the mindsets that go along with the core, your foundational pieces? So we talk about the awe mindset, the gratitude mindset, the growth mindset, the playfulness mindset. So those are some of the components you could focus on. Another program I put together was a 7-week course. So each week we focused on one of the mindsets. And with that, there was different breath work, different triggers that we use. Like you saw some anchoring techniques where we're like breathing and there's movement of the arms that go with the breath, where you're holding your breath, exhaling your breath. And this is an anchoring technique so if you're doing it repetitively, you're anchoring that feeling of flow within your physical body, your spiritual and the energetic bodies. So assist the clients, like we're giving them something tangible. Because we're always talking about the flow state and how to attain it, yet FlowCode gives us some concrete ways of doing it. Like I said, it's mapping it out. So I don't have to recreate the wheel. I was doing this kind of work before within my work. And I was like, this would have taken me a lot of time, energy, and money to put this together. Why do I need to do that? For me, I was like, I just need to help my clients right now, especially in these times that they're shifting and finding like people really need something tangible that can anchor them into these new feelings, taking them out of that fear state, giving them a place where they can feel empowered. I mean, I'm sure we all agree. that empowered state. But thank you for asking, though, how I use it. And then with clients too, like I'll kind of like, for lack of better words, prescribe them something in between sessions. And so within my programs, I give them access to that app while they're working with me. So I can do that with FlowCode. I can arrange with them, like say if I had 100 people doing a program and I want those 100 people to have access to this while they're doing the 7-week program with me, access to the app. I include that in my price. They get access to it, and then they usually subscribe to the app. It's not very expensive after that, but it's just another added value for them to practice. The triggers are all in one place. They have it in their hand. They could take it anywhere they go. The videos are there. The breath work is there. The meditations. But they don't have access to everything I have access to as a coach. Fair enough, right? I mean, there's the user end, and then there's the coaching end. And then another example, because some of you might be interested, I take it into the business. Well, why? What do you mean why? Because when I teach them these modalities, and they could have like 5-minute breaks throughout the day, they can get centered, they can get anchored, they become more productive, they have less stress, less anxiety. And so the managers see the value in that. So I've gone in and I've done like a couple-hour webinar, and I get deeper into the science, and then I give them like a program that they can walk away with, and then an option is the app to add on to that. So I see a lot of value with our world and how we're shifting, how we could take this and start creating different programs. Like one thing with FlowCode, you're not limited. It's just the triggers and material put together. Even the marketing materials there. So if you didn't have time or the team or the resources to create your marketing, you're like, okay, I'm going to do a webinar. I think some of you saw the flyers out there. You saw the website. That's maybe how you signed up. You saw my picture on there and beautiful poster. It wasn't me. It was FlowCode. I just said, I'm doing a webinar, and they put it together and they share it. So I love that part of it as well, because I know these times are kind of like uncertain, and I just needed some, they're my other part of my team. And so I love being part of this mission. Am I a little off track? I don't think so. It's all about, understanding how this all works. Do any of you have any questions at this moment before I show you the app?
I was wondering in terms of, I work with mostly executives like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan.
Yes.
And I like bringing numbers to the table, so tracking stuff, yeah. One thing directly, maybe heart rate variability. Are you into measuring, or how do you work with that, or not so much?
So, well, we have a whole module on that within the FlowCode. Mm-hmm. And we also, when you become a certified FlowCode coach, you also can become a corporate FlowCode. So you have all those beautiful diagrams and measurements and statistics that the corporate mind loves, right? You need to see how is this going to increase the ROI and our, right? Our productivity. And I worked for the federal government for 15 years. So I know the language. We could show you the back end of that as well. And we give them a lot that is more specified for the corporate people, like that module that we have within FlowCode. It's because generally I'm just speaking right now, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. Right? Or else we'd need a lot more time together. But we can. Okay. But we can definitely share that with you if you want to come or have even a call, and I can share more of the specifics with you.
Yeah, that would be great to have a private call later. Yeah.
Fabulous. We'll make that happen. You're welcome. I know there's so much within this. It's like there's infinite possibilities. So there's nothing limiting you. Whatever you're currently doing, I feel that FlowCode's just something that you can like take on its own and run with as a business, or you can add it to whatever you're doing. If you're in the wellness industry, it's like, yeah, it's a great support. It's a great added value. So let me see where else. I'm going to go into the FlowHub and share that screen with you back here. And I have so many slides, but we've gone through most of them just in the video. So don't mind me as I'm scrolling quickly through them. We talk about the different flow triggers. I just want to share with you the FlowHub so you can see what we're talking about within there. What we're doing first is we're going to explain a lot about breath work. We have whole modules that focus just on the breath. And I know Akila will know this because in Nirvana, we focus a lot about proper breathing. And we call this the pursed lip breathing technique, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the lips, and how we do that specifically and why we do that. And the modules I'm going to show you example are already set up that there's cues within the video that I'll share with you so you know when to inhale, and you'll keep inhaling until you hear the next cue, which is an exhale cue. So you don't have to, like, you as an instructor wouldn't have to stop. You could just share the video. I'll show you that. Let's look at one of the flow mindset triggers. Now this is, let's look at the 7 mindsets trigger, because you'll see all 7 of the mindsets within there. It's kind of nice. So you can either do it with me, you can follow along, you can watch the visuals, you can breathe. It's a good example for you to know what you would be sharing with your clients. And this one is called 7 Mindsets Ritual. So I would do this with my clients or within a session, or you could use it through the FlowHub. So as you see in the background, we have at the top right, it says we flow together. So there's intentions being set. We're going to go into first 7 different mindsets, and you'll see on the right which mindset this anchor corresponds to. On the left, you'll see a big yellow button that says hold your breath. It's also going to tell you when to inhale and when to exhale. It sounds a bit confusing at the second as I'm sharing it with you, but you're going to see when I share the video that it's quite simple. In this particular trigger, we're doing an inhale that lasts 5 seconds. We're going to be holding our breath for 5 seconds, and then exhale very slow and controlled into 10 seconds. So I'll just share part of this so you can get a good example. We'll walk through the first 7 together.
Breathe slow and breathe deep. Always flowing. Just observing. We flow together. I am grateful for every breath. I expand my reality. I am alive and breathing. What I imagine, I create. Let's play. I feel unity. Always flowing. Just observing. We flow together. I am grateful for
just wanted to share one of the triggers you could use. Anyone have any feedback? Dun dun. No one.
It was actually really good. I was following it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yay.
It's a break to break the day and just have that moment of being in the now, as you said. And you open all those new ideas that we bring to reality, and very subtle, very nice. Yeah.
Very nice. And that's just one of, there's over 300 that you could use, which is beautiful. And I'm just transported right away because I've been doing it so often. And what I love about it is you can start at the basic level and you work up to the, advanced, and then you become a master. I don't know if that's how long you have to do that to become a master. It takes a lot. Definitely it's a powerful tool for me and for the people that get introduced to it. Anyone else have any feedback about their experience with? We're good. Look at you all like zen in the moment, in the now. You're all easy. Come on, let's go. We're finished. Let's go. Okay, I'm good. That's just one of the triggers I want to share with you. Let me go back to the slideshow here. And so that was the 7 mindsets. So we've taken the 7 mindsets. We've got the playful mindset. So we're combining moves. And what I love about those triggers, I can sit down and do it. People don't have to be standing up, really depending on where they're at. We've got some breath work as well. And I'm just going to show you an example of the slow breaths. We'll just do a bit of this. So again, as you can see on the screen, this one's actually a master level one. So we're really being conscious about our breathing, slowing down. And so this video is great because it can guide a person, whether they're on their own or we can do it within a session and combine these videos and interact with people like we just did and asking how their experience was. So if you want to follow along, in this pursed lip, the PLB breathing technique that you see, we're inhaling through the nose because we're filtering out all the air. We're inhaling through the nose, and then we're going to exhale through pursing our lips. So imagine we have like a straw in between our lips. It's because we want a really controlled breath. It's a slower breath. So you're going to find that we're just bringing it down. Most of us breathe too often. Most of us have very shallow breathing, which can lead to all kinds of illnesses, anxieties, and all kinds of ill effects of not breathing properly. So when we follow along with this, you're going to hear the cues and you're going to see the symbol in the middle that's going to cue you when to inhale and when to exhale. So let's just try a little bit of this together and take a little breath break. Ready? Nirvana. Just a little bit of example about the breath work. And what I normally do before sharing a breath work session is I'll actually explain the technique in depth about expanding the diaphragm and controlling the breath and why we do that. So you could make it really as interactive as you wanted, depending on your audience, right? If it was one-on-one, if it was a group, if it's corporate, if it's in your fitness class, I'll take the time at the beginning of the class about the breath work a little bit longer. I'm sure you do as well, Akila, in your Nirvana. You see some commonalities where we talk about the breath work? Yeah. Okay. So that's just another trigger. We also have meditations, and we also have some movements. So we'll have balance, we have strength, we have core, we have where we're doing some stretches. So if you're at work, you could do a neck stretch, and it does breath work. So I could just have my headset on like this. I'm just going to take like a 3-minute break and listen to the guided audio, which is really great to have within the FlowHub portal. We have some deep sleep triggers that we use, and we also have nirvana triggers. So we talked at nirvana is the movement. We're working with the kinesiology of the body and accompanying it with the breath, accompanying it with high vibrational music. So it's already set up. I don't have to know it perfect. I could just share the video with my clients. So we talked about this a little bit before, the FlowHub 7. And if you're interested and you don't have access to it, you can go and sign up for a 7-day free trial at the flowhub7.com, the website you went to before. And if you already have it and you want to continue access to it, I can offer you like 10% off with my code. And that's just my name, Leona Wallace. So here we go. You go to the flowhub.com. You can try it out. You can get access to over 700 flow triggers and programs. You have access to it. It's not like an app where you download, but I put a shortcut on my phone. So I'll show you, if you guys can, I'll show you, I'll bring it up, what it looks like. Let me stop my share for a moment so you can see. Okay, let me see. It looks there's a 7 there. Can you see the 7? Okay, so I'm going to click on it and open it up and show you what it looks like. So you could try it out for 7 days free if you don't have access. I know that some of you already do, so there'll just be a login screen. Log in. It's like 10 euros a month. So I have all the live webinars. I'll have some triggers. So I don't have everything as a user, end user, but I have access to many things. But this is how I give access to my clients to support them in their journey. And say, this week I want you to work on balance, and I'm also going to give you this meditation that I think you should work on to assist you because of love, right? Whatever my reasoning may be. Also within here, yeah. So you'll be able to see, can you guys see that? It's not great. Like there's the webinars, more webinars you can sign up to as well. But if you don't have, does everyone have access to it, or have they seen it? Yeah.
Yeah, I had access to.
Okay, great. Great.
Me too.
Okay, great. I know Monique, you were at Monique's webinars.
Yeah, I'm also, she's doing a 21-day group with WhatsApp. So she's sending us
Fabulous.
codes, triggers to work with.
Good.
It's really helpful to just really make it more of a daily practice.
Nice. I love that. I love that, Andrea. Great. So that's access to that. If anyone's interested in becoming a coach who's not already a coach now, I can share the last 5-minute presentation. If you're not, and you're just interested in having a one-on-one call, you can email me and we can set up something if you need some clarity. I know if you're about to take your certification call, Manette, you'll probably be speaking with me again very shortly because I do those as well. We only have 2 mentors within FlowCode right now. So another thing we offer is the mentoring program. So I mentor people once they sign up as coaches. I do the certification call with them. You can mentor with me and get some extra support to get things going, you know, because it's a new business. It's a new way of doing things. It's nice to have 2 heads better than one, you know, and you're trying to navigate your way in this new world. Also, I have business background and I've been doing a virtual business for over 10 years. So
Wow.
some of that insight helps a little bit too. And
I'll definitely tap in on you for your information.
right, and I've done
very soon.
Well, I know we'll be talking soon. And the
Yeah,
wellness retreats, I've done over 27. So
Wow.
if you want any insight into that, anyone, you know, just give me a ring. We're here to support everyone. It takes the world working together, right? We're all here for the right reasons to help humanity to be the best version of themselves. That's what I feel in my heart, and I'm very passionate about that. I wish you all the wellness and the best. And this is one of my trademarks. It's a virtual hug, and I give them all the time, and they're free. So if you ever need one, just you can connect with me on Facebook too. I send you all much love. Have the most beautiful, beautiful day.